Hi guys, this is Susan from Orange Light Energy. Thank you for being here. Today feels like an odd day. It's a supermoon day, which of course would make things a little amplified. It's been a bit emotional. But it's also a beautiful day. I'm sitting outside getting some of the solar codes, some of the energies that are coming in. I will edit the background noise because my neighbor has chosen this moment to come and do some yard work. But I'm gonna let that go and just I'm sure I can take out the background noise. Um, I'm excited. I chose this is not the prettiest part of my yard, but it's away from the noise. And as I move towards where the trees are, there's a mama rabbit who's just sitting quietly in the shade by herself. Um, I say mama rabbit, so she's got her babies back there, but I can't see them. So I wanted to give her some space too and let her just be peaceful. Um, So I have a message today, a channeled message from the goddess Isis. She, she comes through quite often for our Patreon group. She's one of my main guides, an energy that I love to work with. Um, Always feels to be a bit of a mother energy. She's a healer, she's a mother, she's all of these things. You can look her up and see all of the parts of her story, but as with anything, there are always a whole lot more things we don't understand, things we cannot even conceive of. But she has stepped forward for me as a guide in this time, and she's given a message kind of about the times that we're living in, how we can use these energies. Like I said, it's a supermoon today, and next week, I'm recording this on the 4th of November, so we're exactly 1 week away from the 11/11 portal day, which portal day is always, it's a gateway, it's an amplified energy. This is a big one. 11/11 is Metatron's gateway, my main guide. I love his energy. And it's a catalyst. It's a time for change, a time when things just hit a little bit differently, when you're getting pushed past things, when it's not always comfortable, but it will move you forward. It will break you free. So I had a message given from Isis to talk about that, how we can move through this, how we can help ourselves in this time. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll go from there. So what she had said, who you are in this time, in this moment, is not who you have been, and it is not who you will be. It is who you are now. And so we would urge you to put energy into this time, into the areas where you would choose to grow, choose to understand, choosing to bring yourself to a new place, where you would choose to redefine areas of your life, aspects of your life, where you can bring to yourself what you have hoped, where you can focus upon your own energy without judgment, where you can accept yourself in your wholeness and know that you need not doubt yourself for the beliefs of others. For there are many in this time who live in a place of fear, and a place they would hold to such energies in place of hope. And you need not be diminished by such energies. Instead, allow yourself to let go of such things, to care not for the choices of others, the beliefs of others, but instead to trust your own energy, to trust who you are and where you are, to recognize within yourself what you can change, what you would cherish, to see where you can rise, and to see where you have been restricted by what need not be held. In times of change, always there is fear, there is hesitation, those who would stick to a place of comfort, a place of what is known, resisting change, resisting newness, resisting what would come. But change does not wait. Change is as a wave, something that will crash upon the beach regardless of the choices that are made. To welcome that wave, to use its energy, to see its beauty, will aid you much in this time. Each who is hearing these words feels this potential and knows what is possible, sees that even in times of great darkness there is light and there is potential. For times of challenge, put forth what is no longer needed, what no longer holds value, what is old and incompatible with the energies we move towards. to make way for what is new, to bring space, new opportunities, new understandings. And as you come to each day looking for the higher perspective, the bigger picture, the bigger understanding, you can see the glory in these times. Step from the need to be reactive, to respond to each comment, each event, not seeing them as singular, but instead as a part of the whole, a symptom of something larger, the dying screams of what would choose not to be purged, but yet shall not remain. Allow yourself with open heart to come to these times, and to recognize the division that has been held does not serve, that those incarnated in this time hold great energies of oneness above division. It is what you choose to focus upon that will define your path. Step from the need to be more than others, to be right and for others to be wrong. Step from the energies of the ego and instead come to this time from compassion. A willingness to see the perspectives of others, to step from the propaganda, the curtain that would cloak from you the truth, and allow yourself instead to be inquisitive, to be curious, to look for deeper meaning, to question what is spoken, to question what is seen. Recognizing that not all words hold truth, not all words are spoken with not all words are spoken without intention to manipulate and to control, to hold dominion over the minds of men. Many here have wounds that are held from the experiences of such times, times when there has been mistrust, times when there has been betrayal, and this wound would rise again. The recognition, the seeing that what you have thought and understood has not been truth, has been twisted and manipulated by the energies of man, by those who would rise, those who would hold power, those who would hold others lower to raise themselves. As these energies can be seen, you can know that they need not remain, that all are worthy and all are loved. There are none above others. To raise yourself in such a way is not the energy of love. It is the energy of ego, an energy corrupted, an energy that would lead astray those wounded and damaged by lifetimes past, those who would follow such a path of learning in this time. We would speak too of wounds of abandonment, of rejection, for those too would rise in this time. The feeling of being alone, of being unsupported, that those that you would call upon, rely upon for help, do not share your understandings, do not share your commitment to the light, that in times of need you are not supported, that you do not have those around you who will come to your aid. Feeling of being alone, having to do all things alone, that you must save yourself. While you do hold the power for such things, it is not needed. Each here has guides around them, has more support than they would realize. And as you can advocate for yourself in new ways, as you can clear the throat and clear the mind, as you can speak your words with power and with intention, as you can find the courage within yourself to step forward, you can find new pathways. You can find new communities, new understandings. You can find the strength for what it is that you crave. Often there have been times when there has not been aid, but we would tell you that is a lesson, a learning that has come, that within your energy has taught you to expect this outcome. But the path of one lifetime is not the path of all. A more aid has not come in times before, it shall be offered now. Allow yourself to be open to what is not expected, to what is not perceived as possible, knowing that in this time all things are possible. These are times that shall bring about wonder, times that shall bring about growth. But you must choose to see the potential. You must choose to step forward and choose to receive this potential. To mire yourself in the heaviness, to hold yourself to such places, diminishes your energy and diminishes your possibilities. For as your energy is lower, so are the opportunities that can be seen, the understandings that can come as you raise yourself up, as you find laughter and joy, as you look past what would bring struggle and allow yourself to find balance. You can grow in new ways. You can understand each next step and what can come. We speak these words to you in love and understanding of what can come and what can be possible, to offer encouragement and illumination for what occurs. You need not hide and you need not pull back. You are a soul of strength, a soul who has all that is needed in these times. Choose for yourself the path that you shall take, and allow yourself to be all that you would hope in these times. So that is the message that she gave. Today has been a triggering day for me. They said it's a supermoon tonight, and that's always a time when your emotions are high, when wounds are shown to you, opportunities, amplified times to push past things, to feel things differently. And some of the stuff that came up, it's not mine to share, but I'll talk a little bit about some of the energies around it. So a part of what this is with energy, sometimes you can see things that you may not always see with the physical eyes. And there's somebody in my life who is in a place of struggle, but I don't think they realize they're in a place of struggle. I keep an eye on their energy because I know they're in a difficult situation. And when I felt into the energy today, I could just feel a heaviness, a sadness, a despair. And so I reached out. Always in situations like that, I would rather reach out and say hi than wish that I had. That in itself triggers some wounds for me that are emotional, times when I haven't been able to help. I haven't been able to do something, when it's been out of my control to help somebody. And I could feel that wound rising. But when I was talking to that person, the way they were communicating with me was different from the energy behind it. It's like when you're watching video, if the audio doesn't match up with the movement of the lips, how it doesn't feel quite right, that's what their energy was like to me. I could read the messages that they were sending to me, but I could also feel the energy behind it, and they were not the same. The message was up here, like, this is how I think I should behave, but the energy itself was down here. And I don't think that this person knows that, would be aware of that. This in part comes down to something they've talked about a lot recently, which is knowing yourself. Do you know yourself? Now, if I ask this person, how do you feel? Would they know the answer, or would they just give me what they think I want to hear? I talk about this in healings with people. What are the things that you want? What are the things that make you happy? Some people know, but most times people don't know those things. We define ourselves and understand ourselves from the needs of other people, the responses of other people, in place of who we are and what we need. We're so used to being the protector, being the savior, being the healer, that we don't put that focus on who we are and what we need. I do this work all the time, but do I do this work for myself? Do I go into my own energy and see what I need, or do I focus all that energy on other people? That came up for me yesterday. I was doing the work for the Portal Day Amplifier session. Let's say 11/11 is a week away, and I do the work for myself and my business partner, Jennifer, often at least a week ahead, because I want to know what to expect. I want to have some understanding. It's the need for control. What is their plan for this month? Because this is a session that requires a lot of trust. It's going into something blind. I'm going to make a video about that session, talking about what has been done so far, because when I talked about it previously, when we were doing the signups for the 9, 9, 10, 10, and 11, 11 portals. I had no idea what to expect. I could give you what I thought I knew. But now we're coming up on the last of those 3 portals and getting ready to begin with the 12, 12, 1, 11, 2, 22 sessions. So I want to I'll do a separate video where I'll talk about that so that you can have some more clarity on it, have some understanding of what did we do? What were the things that they did in those sessions? Because it blew my mind. And 1111 is no different. But I guess my point on that is that to do that, I went into my own energy. I did healing in my own energy. I asked Metatron and my guides, what do I need? What is your plan? What are the things that you're going to do? And when I came out of that, just having put the same focus on my own energy that I put onto other people, asking the questions in my own energy instead of just in that of other people, it blew my mind, because I came away from that. I was dizzy. I was lightheaded. I was like, what just happened? But when I'm working, I always transcribe, and I went back to the message and I looked back at what we had done and why we had done it and who stepped forward. And I was just like, wow, I really should do that more often. I should put more focus on my own energy, because how am I missing out? How am I not growing because of that need to put the focus on everybody else? Always looking for, what do I need to do? What are the things on my list? Instead of being, okay, what do I need? What are the things that will support my energy? How can I grow myself? And I think that ties back into what Isis was talking about. That, we're not beholden to everybody else's opinion, to everybody else's understandings. And if we tune into things a little bit differently, instead of just believing everything that we are told, everything that shows itself, we can be in a different place. There's a lot of people who are doomsaying right now, who are, things are terrible, nothing can be fixed, it's always going to be terrible. But realistically, how do you know that? No, everything that comes, you cannot know the future. There's very few things that are set. For the most part, it relates to free will, and the energy can be stronger around one path or another. And we can come from that, or what do the energy support this month? But I can't tell you what's going to happen, because it's not decided. It relates to, what choices do I make? What choices do these people make? Those people make? Everybody's choices change the future, change which path. The energy can feel like it's 90% towards one outcome. But if a couple of people change their mind, we're going over here. Just don't let go of the power of your own mind, your own understanding, your own way of seeing and perceiving things. Because you have the power to change things, whether it's in your own life or the bigger picture. If you're struggling with something right now, how do you help yourself? What can you change? What can you redefine? How can you find within yourself what it is that you need? Okay, I think I'm almost done, but I am going to tell you, I'm sitting outside right now because all of these energies that are coming in, these higher frequencies, there was an energetic shift last night. One of the bigger ones, because we have these timelines shift fairly often, sometimes multiple times a day we're jumping about. And if you're paying attention, sometimes you can see it. You may just feel a little off balance, something just, you're like, I already did this. Why am I doing it again? Strange experiences often occur around these times when we're switching timelines. But this is the second time for me this year that I have woken up and I'm like falling into the walls. Like my balance was off. It was done. I felt dizzy, disoriented, just not functioning. And it took a while. Sitting outside has helped me. Going for a walk has helped me. But, that response when that comes is a shift. It's a timeline shift that is significant. And so I don't know what that means. I don't know what it will entail, where it will lead us. but it feels significant, it feels important. I would hope it is a turning point. You know, there's a lot going on in our world right now, and if we're shifting to a higher timeline, to a place that brings us more in line with what we are feeling ready for, then I'm all for it. Um, it didn't feel like the timeline drop, it felt like a timeline going up. The dizziness is the lightheadedness of being in a higher frequency, being in a higher place. You know, when you go down on timelines, there tends to be more feelings of despair, um, struggle, heavy energies, dropping into lower emotions. When you're going up in timelines, you tend instead to get that dizziness, to be off balance, to be ungrounded, and to feel so off ground or off balance and ungrounded that when I got out of bed, I fell into the wall is a significant shift. So now I'm sitting outside, even though my neighbors are really loud, um, because I'm trying to ground myself. If you are feeling a little bit that way, the solar codes and the lunar codes that are coming in, you get the star codes too. It doesn't even just have to be the moon. You can get these, you know, just go, leaves in my hair, sit outside, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, part of your evening ritual, your morning ritual, go for a walk. No, I'm sitting out here now and I'm just choosing to receive the energies that are for my greatest good. The sun is shining on me. I don't know what it's bringing me, but I'm grateful for it. No, first thing on the morning, we go for a walk. That's moon energies. The star codes. You're getting these energies that will amplify you, that will help you. Whether or not we know what they mean, they're helping us, they're supporting us, and they're helping us with the transition in the energies. So just, you know, if you feel like it would help you, give it a try. As with all videos, you know, whether it's me or anybody else, take the pieces of this that resonate with you, the things that feel right to you. If there's things that you don't agree with that are triggering to you, let it go. None of this is intended to be triggering. It's intended to help us, to guide us. But you know, what feels right to you now and what will feel right to you next month, 6 months from now, may be different. What you are going through, where you are, how you are growing, what you are triggered by in any given moment is where you need to be and what you need. So just recognize that in your energy. And if something comes up, something triggers you, question yourself why. How did I feel? Why did I feel that way? What about that bothered me? Because that's how you're going to figure it out. That's another way you're going to know your own energy, another way that you can support yourself. Because to recognize the wound, to identify the wound, is a huge step. No, you're not working with a blind target. You are looking at something specific and you know, I need to put some energy towards this. All right, I'm gonna leave this here, but love to you all. I hope the super moon is kind to you, that the portal day is kind to you. That the energies in general are gentle with you, because we've all been through it this year. So love to you all. Bye.